News headline: How the world's countries are affected by the coronavirus. America is worse than ever. Iran has not detained anyone due to the crash of Ukrainian missiles plane. The failure of Afghanistan negotiations with the Taliban. The number of corona victims in the United States has exceeded 10,000. The number of victims of COVID-19 in the United States has reached to 10,300, and the number of people infected with the coronavirus in the country has exceeded 35,000. More than 90% of the population has been ordered to stay at home. And New York, whose death toll has fallen since Sunday in facing the problem of boarding bodies. The United States has joined Italy and Spain with a death toll of 5. The triangle of Spain, Italy, and United States together wakes up half of the world's corona constellations. New York commuters are out of place. Corona victims may be buried in the park. The head of the New York City Council's Health Committee said on Monday, April 6, that if the capacity of cemeteries was not large enough for the new bodies of corona victims, the city's park would be used for their burial. In the park's graves are dug 10 to 10 in each row, wrote on Twitter. However, this will be very difficult for New Yorkers. Corona in Italy. Italy recorded the lowest death toll in 2 weeks. Italy on Sunday announced another 525 deaths due to the new coronavirus, the lowest daily death toll in 2 weeks. The highest number of victims registered on March 27, with 969 people. Corona in Spain. Reducing the number of hospitalized in the intensive care unit. Spanish officials on Monday announced for the 4th day in a row that the death toll from the coronavirus has dropped in the country, with statistics showing that the number of people hospitalized in the intensive care until due to corona was declining. It is declining. Corona in the UK. Extensive disregard for housing regulations and announcing the dire situation for the Prime Minister of this country, Boris Johnson. Stock exchange was admitted in the intensive care unit. A resident of a boat house in London's Hackney and London Connells posted picture of crowded traffic routers near his home, urging people to take government advice seriously and stay at home. Corona in Japan. Lack of medical equipment and high rates of infection among healthcare workers in the country have been reported. The Japanese government is planning to declare a state of emergency in the country due to the outbreak of the new coronavirus, while health workers are talking about a shortage of medical equipment in the face of a wave of attacks on patients with COVID-19. Corona in Germany. The German government is working on a plan to gradually eliminate quarantine regulations and other coronary restrictions in the country from April 19th. The news has not been officially announced yet. Corona in China. Corona recorded the first day without a date of corona. China's National Health Committee said on Thursday that for the first time in months, no new deaths has been reported in a single day due to COVID-19. The number of patients infected with the coronavirus in China has been declining since March. Corona in Austria and Czech Republic. The quarantine restriction in Austria and Czech Republic will be lifted step by step. The Austrian government wants to gradually lift some of them, and the restriction on the spread of the coronavirus in the country. We want to resume business economic activities step by step, said Sebastian Kurz, the country's prime minister, at a new conference. Of course, the youngest challenger of the Green Continent stressed that the citizens must follow the recommended principles. The Czech Republic is also seeking to lift some restrictions on the spread of the coronavirus. On the eve of the Easter, the Czech Republic was one of the first European countries to be quarantined. Corona in Iran. According to the Ranj Barzada, a member of Presidium of the Iranian Parliament, the Corona 11th test was positive. Official statistics of corona patents and consulates in Iran: 3,739 deaths and 60,500 deaths have been recorded till now. Last night, 2,274 new cases were identified in Iran and 136 people lost their lives. Iran has detained or prevented anyone from being shot down by Ukrainian plane. There will be no repayment or arrest in the case of shouting down of the Ukrainian plane, and no one has been arrested. Lawmaker Hassan Nurzai told the Hamdali newspaper on April 8. Mr. Nurzai claimed in the interview that the Ukrainian plane had been in Israel a week before the downing and appears to have been tampered with. There was a specific targets in Iran for this aircraft, and I think the military has done a good job in the target. So there will be no reprimand or arrest in this regard, he said. the Afghan peace process continues to decline. The Taliban group has said that the release of their prisoners has been postponed under various pretexts and that their technical team in Kabul will no longer hold further meetings with the government from today. Suhaila Shaheen, a spokesman for the Taliban's political bureau in Qatar, tweeted that the team had been sent to Kabul to identify the prisoners because the release of the prisoners was expected to be as promised. However, according to him, this process will be postponed under various pretexts, and therefore their technical team will no longer participate in a meeting with relevant aspects. Yesterday, Abdul Mateen Beg, head of the independent local government authority, said the Taliban had given the government a list of 15 commanders for the first phase of the release of their prisoners, whose hands are particularly stained with people's blood. He said the release was not possible. Thank you for watching our channel News TV until the end. Please subscribe the channel to support us and share your ideas with us. Bye.